What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade basketball analysis coming to y'all with a quick video. We're going to predict who's going to be the number one team in the Southeast Division as they hold the Eastern Conference champions. The Miami Heat are, the best team in this conference to me. But I want to tell you who the five teams are. I'm going to start from the bottom, go all the way up to the top, give you reasoning why I pick certain teams to fail or succeed, and who I think will be the best for this particular season. And, let's start. The Charlotte Hornets, I have them number five. They're a young team. I don't think they're terrible. I think that they are a competitive team. I think they're an interesting team. And picking up Gordon Hayward has been pretty decent for them, as he's been a 20-plus point scorer while also being able to get rebounds and assists. And he gives them a playmaker and a scorer that can impact the game in multiple ways and really help them, give them something that they've been missing the last 3 years, especially since they lost Kemba. And to me, Gordon Hayward gives them, something that they needed. And even though he might not be a superstar, even though he might not help this team get to the playoffs, probably, he still is a good addition to a team that was lacking in that particular area, and giving them something that can really, help them throughout the games and throughout the fourth quarters, which we did see the last couple games. And Devontae Graham and Terry Rozier are streaky. So, when you're relying on the young players to make decisions and young players to come through for you, that, usually result in a lot of losses and a lot of mistakes. And even though they did beat Brooklyn, they was falling in the same situation where they had a big lead in the fourth, made it even bigger in the fourth, and still had a chance to lose that game at the end of the day. And that's why I don't have them making the playoffs. One, because they're young and they're going to make a lot of mistakes and they're not going to play great defense. And they struggle to have consistent scores outside of Gordon Hayward. And with that being said, that's going to be a recipe for disaster. And I think that will catch up to them as the season goes on, and their record will be pretty bad by the, game 40 or 50. And, that's usually how it goes for young teams. Until they can get another consistent scorer, preferably a shooter, they're going to still be a mediocre to bad team for the next couple years. So we will see what they will do, and we'll see how they put this team together. But they have a lot of guys that love playing with each other, love going to war with each other. So that's a good foundation to have. Now just about putting the right pieces and figuring out what direction they're going to go in, especially when it comes to having an older guy in Gordon now on the roster and having a young guy that can be possibly a superstar for them in LaMelo Ball. Is going to be an interesting way how they're going to build and play out these next couple years, and figuring out what direction they're going to go in with how they're going to build this team is going to be very important. But until then, I have them being the worst team in this conference, which will be honestly no surprise. Number four, I have the Washington Wizards, and this sounds crazy because they have two all-star caliber players compared to these other teams in this list. But one, they play no defense at all. Two, Russell Westbrook is not going to play in back-to-backs. And three, we don't really know how they're going to play defense, because if they're going to give up a bunch of shots and they can't get consistent shots from guys like Bertans and Russell Westbrook, they're going to find themselves in a situation where they're going to either be in close games and not going to be able to finish them, or they're going to be in blowout games because they can't stop the other team, they can't get consistent offense, or two, they're going to win a lot of games because they're running down teams' throats and they're going to be able to get enough cushion for where they can pull off games and win. And that basically means that they're going to be a mediocre to bad team too, if they're not going to play D and they're not going to score consistently, and they also not going to be able to close games consistently either. That means they're not going to win a lot of games consistently at all. And that's why I'm lower on the Wizards than other people. And it don't help they start off 0-3, and everything I just said was the reasons why they lost those 3 games already. And that's a big hole. 0-3 isn't the craziest thing, because all they got to do is go on a miniature win streak to, make up for it. But can they go on a win streak? Can they continue to battle with Russell Westbrook missing a lot of games? I do look at them as a team that can possibly be a play-in team, but I don't see a world where if they're not going to be able to play defense, they're not going to be able to, stop anybody and score consistently. Plus, Russell Westbrook not going to play every game. Plus, they had injury away for being on a big losing streak because they rely so much on Bill and Russ. I don't really see this team being a legitimate contender in the East, and I don't see them being one of the top three teams in this division. Number three, Orlando. I like Orlando. They just missing a lot of offense. They have a solid defense. They have a type of style that they play. Terrence Ross is fantastic for them to come off the bench and give them spacing and give them a guy that continues to keep the defense honest with his consistent movement. Markel Fultz look a lot better. Doesn't look great defensively, but his offense has finally picked up to where he can create and get his own shot while also still being able to probe to look for teammates and pick his spots of either taking a mid-range jumper or getting to the layup. And Vucevic still looks like an all-star caliber player, being able to hit the mid-range, hit the three, post up from time to time, and even being a great free throw shooter. Fournier doesn't look like the guy that they need. They need to upgrade over him if they want to be a playoff team this year, but he is a solid guy that can score and being able to knock down shots off the screens or even catch and shoot. And then they have some young guys like Jonathan Isaac that are gone that really hurt them, but other guys are just going to have to step up. But they are one trade away from being a lock for the playoffs, and we'll see if they make that move or that guy that they seem that can make them, a lot better comes available. I do see them eventually getting rid of some of their pieces to be able to find a piece that really naturally fits this team and helps fix a lot of their problems. So they're a team that's one trade away from being a dangerous lock in the playoffs, just like they was the last 2 years. But I do think that their chances of making the playoffs are slimmer, as I do think another team that was in this conference at the bottom will be better than them enough to where they can get one of the top 8 seeds, which means I have Orlando missing the playoffs, but also being third in this division. But other than that, they're a solid team. They're a okay to good team, but they're not a great team, and that's why I think that they're going to barely miss, and that's why I think they're not going to finish in the top two. Number two, I do have Atlanta just because they have an all-star starter in Trae Young, a guy that can get you 25 plus points and 8 to 10 assists plus per game, and a guy that always is in attack mode, looking for ways to score, looking for ways to use his scoring to find teammates. He has a good duo partner in John Collins who fits him, being able to space the floor, being able to finish, being able to shoot, while also being able to play with Clint Capella, who is a solid switchable center that can also rebound and protect the rim. Not a great defender, but better than what they had before. Not the greatest offensive player, but he knows his role and he knows his game. And I think that that's something that's good for this team when you have a lot of guys that can shoot and a lot of guys that want to score. It is good to have guys that don't mind doing either or. And I do like the fact they added Gallinari, a guy that can come off their bench or start and give them space and scoring and instant offense. Even though he might give up some points on the other end, he is a guy that is better than what they had last year. And then you add on the fact that they still have Hunter and Reddish, who are guys that are still developing and growing, but they also added Bogdanovich, who is a guy that can play multiple positions for them too, while also giving them small playmaking, some creation, and some spot up shooting. And that's something that they needed, was more offense and more guys that can do things. And that's what they was missing last year. And I feel like they answered a majority of those problems this year. And then they also have guys like Rondo and Chris Dunn that gives them depth at the point guard position, something that they lacked last year too, outside of Trae Young. And that's something that shouldn't be a problem this year, as they now have some quality backups, not only for the wings, but also for the guards. And then you look at the fact that they still do have Okongwu for a big and another one. So they have depth at every position. They have better weapons than they had last year, and they still do have one of the better point guards in the league in Trae Young. And that should be enough for them to crack one of the top 8 spots in the Eastern Conference if they can stay healthy. And number one, the Miami Heat. I feel like they're the better complete team, having to be able to play great defense, having 2 All-Stars in Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, while also being able to trust teammates and play within teammates, play off teammates, and play together. And they just got more talent than every team in this division, while also having the best player probably in this division, which would be Jimmy Butler. And, having the best player and having the best team and having the best defense, while also coming off the NBA Finals when they look incredible, while also having a 6-man candidate in Dragic, and having guys that should be able to develop and be better than they was last year, which would be Hero, Bam, Duncan Robinson, and guys like that, even Kendrick Nunn. And that should make them be able to become the best team in this division for another year. And if that's the case, I wouldn't be surprised, and that's why I got them going #1. Other than that, you can check out my website, analysisplayground.com. Link will be in the description, comment section below. Check out my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com. Link will also be in the description in the comment section below. Like on Facebook to show support. If you want to support the channel further, you can buy merchandise on my Facebook page. You can find hats and shirts. You can change the color of the hat, change the color of the shirt, pick the one that you want it to, the logo you want it to be, the color you want it to be. You can customize it the way you want to. Message me and I can get it shipped out to you. You can also find exclusive merchandise on my spread shirt. That will also be in the description in the comment section below. So check out my spread shirt. Also, if you're new to the channel, I upload videos each and every day. So if you love basketball, you can't get enough of it. I do that every day for the whole year, while also offering breakdowns of players, legends, rookies, summer league coverage breakdowns. Also for summer league draft coverage, free agency, top 10 lists, playoff predictions, season previews, and discussions of the hottest topics, while also giving you the ability to comment. Let me know what you guys feel. If you agree with something or you think I got something wrong, let me know your top 5 and let me know what you think in the comment section below. Also, I enjoy doing this. I love it. So if you're new to the channel, you want to see more, check out my videos. I have over 2,000 on my channel. Other than that, Quinn Wade, basketball analysis, I'm gone, and let me know what you guys think and enjoy your day.